When the boarding team climbed aboard, they found all 16 crewmen dead. Not lying on the deck, not floating in blood. Sitting upright, at their stations, eyes open, mouths sealed with wax. The ship was drifting 40 miles west of Brest. No flag, no name, barely moving. The sails were torn, but the hull untouched, and the rudder still shifting, as if someone steered it. There was food in the galley, warm, coffee in tin mugs still steaming. The captain was seated at his desk, hand frozen mid-sentence. Quill snapped in two. The page read only 3 words. It got in. The boarding officer vomited the second he stepped below deck. Not from the smell, there was none, but the silence. It was too loud. He said it felt like someone was holding their breath. One sailor was found inside the cargo hold, buried under canvas. Alive, naked, sobbing. Nails torn off from scratching at the wood. They lifted him out. He screamed one word over and over. "Don't name it! Don't name it!" They restrained him, wrapped him in blankets. He died 2 hours later, lungs full of seawater, even though he hadn't touched the sea. The logs were burned, intentionally. Only 1 page survived, stuck under a bottle. It showed a sketch of something. Rough outline, man-shaped, but twisted. Joints bent wrong, arms too long. Below it, 1 sentence. It speaks like someone you miss. The ship was towed to port. The bodies never decomposed. No bloating, no rot. But 2 men from the recovery team vanished. Left their posts, left their boots. 1 rifle found floating in the harbor. A week later, the coroner quit. He claimed the bodies had moved. He said their eyes were in different positions every morning, and wax had started appearing on his lips when he slept. No one believed him, until his wife found him dead at the table. Upright, eyes open, lips sealed. The ship was ordered scuttled. They sailed it out at night, chained it with iron, and sank it off the coast. The captain who commanded the operation disappeared 2 days later. He left a single note behind. It swam faster than we did. They never marked the location. No records exist. But every few years, a fisherman reports seeing a ship drifting with torn sails. A silent vessel, crew frozen in place, eyes still watching, waiting. 3 years after they sank the cursed ship, it came back. Same hull, same torn sails, same crew, still sitting, still dead. Not a single body had moved, but somehow the wax was fresh. A French fishing trawler spotted it just before dawn. They sent a crew of 4 to investigate. Only 1 man returned. He never spoke again. He cut his tongue out with a fishhook, while smiling. The authorities wanted to burn the ship at sea, but by the time the Navy arrived, it was gone. No debris, no wake, just the faint scent of wax on the wind. 7 days later, a lighthouse stopped transmitting. They found it empty, dinner still warm, radio log still active, and a message carved into the control panel. It walks now. The wax started appearing in other places, in locked Navy offices, in barrels of cargo, on church doors. It wasn't dripping. It was being placed, carefully, like fingers had shaped it. The coroner's body was exhumed. They needed to be sure. Inside the coffin, his body was gone. But there was a letter, in his handwriting. It never needed the ship. It just needed to be remembered. Ships began reporting strange signals on closed frequencies. They didn't sound like Morse. They sounded like crying, then laughter, then silence, and sometimes a voice. Always familiar, always from someone you'd buried. The last confirmed sighting came from a British merchant captain. He refused to board, but he circled the vessel for hours, taking notes. His final entry: "They're not rotting, they're waiting for something." He never made it home. His ship was found 2 weeks later, drifting, crew gone, chart room locked from the inside, and wax in every teacup.
They used prisoners, not sailors, not officers. Men marked for execution. 5 men, 1 fog, 1 ship that wouldn't move unless you stepped aboard. It just floated there, unmoving, unrocked by waves, as if the sea was holding its breath. 12 minutes in, all radio contact died. And then a voice. "Mama? Mama, I'm cold." It wasn't static. It wasn't interference. It was clear, young, terrified. A dead man's voice. One sailor recognized it. His son, buried 3 years ago. The deck cameras showed the convicts had stopped moving, still upright, still breathing, eyes wide, and on their lips, fresh wax, shining, wet. Command cut the audio, but the signal came back, and this time it used a name. "Richard, pick up the line." "You didn't really think I died, did you?" The Aberdeen's captain ordered engines to pull back, but nothing responded. And from the vents, the scent of wax began to seep in. They sealed hatches, cut power, shouted into headsets, but only one sound came back. Whispers, then laughter, then silence, and then all the voices at once. At dawn, the ship was gone, but something remained. Bodies, standing waist-deep in the sea, unmoving, holding lumps of wax, eyes blinking, mouths sealed shut.